Sairam students, let's begin with the today's session of Class 8 Geography. Children, we are doing the revision of chapter number 5 of Geography. Chapter's name is Industries. Today we are doing the third part, and that is going to be the last part of the revision of this chapter. Children, in the content, if you'll remember, in the last session we have completed industrial system, industrial regions, industrial disaster. And in today's video, you are going to learn the topics: distribution of major industries, iron and steel industry, cotton textile industry. Distribution of major industry. What it includes: the world's major industries are the iron and steel industry, the textile industry, and the information technology industry. When we talk like the iron and steel and the textile industry are the older industries, while we can talk about one more industry, that is information technology. It is an emerging industry. Okay, now what is the meaning of emerging industry? Emerging industries are also known as sunrise industries. These includes information technology, wellness, hospitality, and knowledge. The countries in which iron and steel industry is located are Germany, USA, China, Japan, and Russia. Okay, and the textile industry is concentrated in India, Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. The major hubs of information technology industry are the Silicon Valley of Central California and the Bangalore region of India. Just now we discussed about the emerging industries, right? Here the examples of emerging industries have been given to you. Emerging industries are also known as the sunrise industries, okay? And what it includes? It includes information technology, wellness, hospitality, and knowledge. Now let's begin with the topic iron and steel industry. See, like other industries, iron and steel industry too comprises various inputs, processes, and outputs. Right? You have learned that in industrial system, we have seen all these three things are involved. Okay, so this is a feeder industry whose products are used as raw material for other industries. The inputs for the industry include raw materials such as iron ore, coal, and limestone. Even along with the labor, labor is always required, right? The capital is required for the industry, as well as the site, that is the place, and the other infrastructural facilities also need to be available. Now, the process of converting iron ore into steel involves many stages. The raw material is put in the blast furnace where it undergoes smelting. It is then refined. So what is the process of smelting? It is the process in which metals are extracted from their ores by heating beyond the melting point. Okay, so now let's see how the smelting process takes place here. Okay, see here you can see the figure has been given to you where the smelting process is taking place from it is converting. It has been done in the blast furnace where from the iron ore to steel. Okay, the output obtained is steel, which may be used by other industries as raw material. Children, you have to prepare yourself with the diagram of this chapter for your exams. That is the diagram of the blast furnace, okay, where the conversion has been shown, where the heating process has been shown from iron ore into process of converting iron ore into steel. Okay, so steel that is obtained is tough and it can be shaped, cut, or made into wire. So special alloys of steel can be made by adding small amounts of other metals such as aluminum, nickel, and copper. Even alloys give steel unusual hardness, toughness, or ability to resist rust. Steel is often called as the backbone of the modern industry. Almost, see, we have seen we use it either made of iron or steel or has been made with tools and machinery of these metals, right? So steel has been used more frequently in all the industries. Okay, so ships, trains, trucks, and autos are made largely of steel. Even we can say the safety pins, needles that we commonly use in our houses that are also made up of steel, right? Steel pipelines transport oil, minerals are mined with steel equipments, even farm machines are mostly steel, even large buildings they have the framework of the steel, right? So this is what we have seen. Steel is called as the backbone of the modern industry. But before 1800 AD, iron and steel industry was located where raw materials, power supply and running water were easily available. But then later the location for the industry was near coalfield. That the selection of location changed. That is, they started searching the location of those industries near the coal fields and close to the canals and the railways. Then after 1950 AD, after 1950, it was like iron and steel industry began to be located on large areas of flat land that should be the near the seaports. Why it was preferable? Because the transportation can be done easily. This is because by this time steel works had become very large and iron ore had to be imported from overseas. So that is the reason the location was changing. Okay, in 1880 it was different, whereas when we talk about the 1950, the factors that were required for the location were different. So this is because by this time that because steel and in India iron and steel industry has developed taking advantage of raw materials, cheap labor, transport and market. Now here we are going to see the all the important steel producing centers such as Bhilai, Durgapur, Burnpur, Jamshedpur, Rourkela, Bokaro. These are situated in a region that spreads over the four states. Now, which are that four states where these all centers are located? West Bengal, Jharkhand, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. Then even Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in Karnataka, Vishakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Salem in Tamil Nadu. These are all the other important steel centers utilizing local resources. Now let's move to the next topic, that is Jamshedpur. Now before 1947 there was only one iron and steel plant in the country. That is Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited. That is only called as TISCO. Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited. It was privately owned by Jamshedji Tata. TISCO was started in the year 1907 at Sakchi near the confluence of the rivers Subarnarekha and Karkai, that is in Jharkhand. Okay, so later on that Sakchi was renamed as Jamshedpur. So geographically Jamshedpur is the most conveniently situated iron and steel center in the country. Sakchi was why only this that place was chosen to set up that industry. Okay, Sakchi was so chosen to set up the steel plant for the several regions because of the favorable conditions that were available there. Okay, let's see that this place was only 32 km away from Kalimati station on the Bengal Nagpur railway line. Okay, closeness to the railway station. So it was close to the iron ore, coal and the manganese deposits as well as to Kolkata, which provided a large market. Even the large market was nearby. So TISCO gets coal from Zaria coal fields and iron ore, limestone, dolomite and manganese from Odisha and Chhattisgarh. The Karkai and Subarnarekha rivers ensured sufficient water supply. Even water supply was easily available. So government initiatives provided adequate capital for its later development. These were the reason like Sakshi was chosen to set up this industry. The development in Jamshedpur, even several other industrial plants were also set up after TISCO. Okay, they produce like chemicals, locomotive parts, agricultural equipment, machinery, tin plate, cable, and wire. But the development of the iron and steel industry opened the doors to rapid industrial development in India. Almost all sectors of the Indian industry depend heavily on the iron and steel industry for their basic infrastructure. Okay, so the Indian iron and steel industry consists of large integrated steel plants as well as mini steel plants. It also includes that rolling mills and other industries. Now, the next place that we are going to learn here, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, now the steel industry, it is an important steel city of the United States of America. First, we saw Jamshedpur, that is in our country, India. Now, we will see another city, that is another steel city that is in the United States of America, that is Pittsburgh. The steel industry at Pittsburgh enjoys locational advantages. As we have seen in Jamshedpur, Sakshi was having the favorable conditions, like the locational advantages were available. Similarly, here also in Pittsburgh, it is an important city, steel city of the United States of America. The steel industry at Pittsburgh enjoys the locational advantages. Now, some of the raw materials such as coal is available locally, while the iron ore comes from the iron mines at Minnesota, about 1500 kilometers from Pittsburgh. So between these mines and Pittsburgh is one of the world's best routes for shipping ore cheaply. Okay, that is the famous Great Lakes Waterway. So trains carry the ore from the Great Lakes to the Pittsburgh area. The Ohio, the Monongahela and the Allegheny rivers, they provide adequate water supply to this industry. So today we can say here, today very few of the large steel mills are in Pittsburgh itself, but they are located in the valleys of the Monongahela and Allegheny rivers above Pittsburgh and along the Ohio River below it. So the finished steel is transported to the market by both land as well as the water routes. Okay, the Pittsburgh area has many factories other than the steel mills. Now, which were the other one? These use steel as their raw material to make many different products such as the railroad equipments, that are heavy machinery as that were required for making the rails. Now the next industry we are going to see here after iron and steel industry is cotton textile industry. Now weaving cotton from yarn is an ancient art. So cotton, wool, silk, jute, flax have been used for making cloth. Now the word textile has been derived from the Latin word texere, which means to weave. So the textile industry can be divided on the basis of raw materials used in them. Fibers are the raw material of textile industry. So fibers can be natural or it can be man-made also. The natural fibers are obtained from wool, silk, cotton, linen and jute. Whereas man-made fibers include nylon, polyester, acrylic and rayon. So till the cotton textile industry is one of the oldest industries in the world. But till the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, cotton cloth was made using hand spinning techniques. That is, the wheels were used as well as the looms were used for making the cotton. But in 18th century, power looms facilitated the development of cotton textile industry first in Britain and later in other parts of the world. Okay, so it means you can say till the 18th century, till the Industrial Revolution, it was cotton cloth was made by spinning techniques, that is by using the wheels. But later on, after the Industrial Revolution, the power looms were facilitated, that is the first development of cotton textile industry took first place in Britain and later it was it was gone to the other parts of the world also. Today we can say India, China, Japan and the USA, these are all the important producers of cotton textiles. India has a glorious tradition of producing excellent quality cotton textiles. Before the British rule, Indian hand spun and hand woven cloth already had a wide market. See, as we have seen before the Industrial Revolution, cotton was made by the spinning techniques, that is by using hands. Okay, but then Before the British rule, Indian hand spun and the hand woven cloth, they were having a very large market. They were in a demand. Now here some examples have been given to you of that. The Muslims of Dhaka, the chintz of Masulipattnam, the calicos of Calicut, and the gold wrought cotton of Burhanpur, Surat, and Vadodara were known worldwide for their quality and design. The traditional cotton textile industry could not face the competition from the new textile mills of the West, which produced cheap and good quality fabrics through mechanized industrial units. See, whenever we'll say the production of hand woven cotton textile, definitely that will be very expensive, right? Because the labor has to work with their hands. They were not using any machines. So, definitely we can say the hand woven cotton textile will be expensive and that will be also time consuming, right? Then that is the reason the traditional cotton textile industry could not face the competition. Traditional hand textile industries means that those who were doing that with their hands, those who were doing the spinning with their hand, they could not face the competition from the new textile mills of the West, which produce cheap and good quality fabrics through mechanized industrial units. Now, children, here the first textile, for your information, it has been given. The first textile mill in the country was established at Fort Gloucester near Kolkata in 1818, but it closed down after some time. So, the first successful mechanized textile mill was established in Mumbai in the year 1854. Why Mumbai was only chosen there? Because the warm, moist climate and the port for importing machinery, availability of raw material and skilled labor, these all resulted in the rapid expansion of the industries in Mumbai. Okay, the first Indian cotton mill was opened in the year 1854. So initially this industry flourished in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat because of favorable humid climate. The other important centers were in Coimbatore, Kanpur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ludhiana, Puducherry and Panipat. These are some of the other important centers. Now let's learn about Ahmedabad. See, it is located in Gujarat on the banks of the Sabarmati River. The first mill was established in 1859. It soon became the second largest textile city of India after Mumbai. Ahmedabad was therefore often referred to as the Manchester of India. Why? Because of the favorable locational factors were responsible for the development of the textile industry in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is situated very close to cotton growing area. This ensures easy availability of raw material. The climate is ideal for spinning and weaving. Even the flat terrain and easy availability of land is suitable for the establishment of the mills. The densely populated states of Gujarat and Maharashtra, they could provide the both skilled as well as the semi-skilled labor that were required to work in the industry, in the textile industry. So well-developed road and railway network permits easy transportation of textiles to different parts of the country, thus providing easy access to the market. So Mumbai port nearby facilitates import of machinery and export of cotton textiles. But in the recent year, Ahmedabad textile mills have been having some problems. Several textile mills have closed down. This is primarily due to the emergence of new textile centers in the country as well as non-upgradation of machines and technology in the mills of Ahmedabad. Now let's move to the another textile industry, that is in Osaka. It is an important textile center of Japan, also known as the Manchester of Japan. Now the extensive The textile industry developed in Osaka. Why? Because of several geographical factors. Let's see what were that factors. The extensive plain around Osaka ensured that land was easily available for the growth of cotton mills. Even warm, humid climate is well suited to spinning and weaving. The river Yodo provides sufficient water for the mills, and even the labor is easily available there. Location of port facilitates import of raw cotton and for exporting textiles. So the textile industry at Osaka depends completely upon imported raw materials. Cotton is imported from Egypt, India, China, and USA. The finished product is mostly exported and has a good market due to good quality and low price. So this is one of the important textile cities in the country of late. The cotton textile industry of Osaka has been replaced by other industries such as steel, iron and steel, machinery, shipbuilding, automobiles, electrical equipment, and cement. So, dear children, we have completed the topic in the today's session distribution of major industries, iron and steel industry, and cotton textile industry. So, see you in the next session with the revision of some new chapter. Till then, children, take very good care of your health.